Brad Sherman's town hall wouldn't let him work. And it's a little too pixelated. Okay, so everybody, we're at the Judy Chu Town Hall in Claremont.
A minute early than 5 minutes late, so we're going to start.
Good.
We're going to start with our flag.
Absolutely.
Looking at how people are governed in many parts of the world, even with all our government problems, we can see how blessed and privileged.
Is that your age or your IQ? I guess it's your IQ.
That's your IQ.
It's your IQ. Do you talk to your kids like that? I guess you do. Shame on you. Your pardon is bad. You sleep with children? Okay.
Separation of powers and elections.
This man's being abusive right here.
How come you're not married?
This guy's harassing me right there.
This next hour together is a patriotic ritual celebrating our democracy and an opportunity to contribute to its improvement and its protection. As Americans together, let's begin with a pledge to allegiance. Stand if you're able, please, and address this flag together. And let's declare together, I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Welcome, neighbors, to a dialogue.
Okay, so Mr. Corporal Martinez, the gentleman in front of me has already been harassing me, so just to keep an eye out, he's right off the... Okay, because everybody's supposed to abide by the rules, and he's already out of line. Okay, he said, fuck you, he called me a pedophile, excuse me. If you want to go... I would like you to speak to him really quick, because this guy is going to act like this again unless you send a message. Would you please come over here? Okay, no, could you please speak to him? Okay. Okay. There you go.
At the request of Congresswoman Chu,
I don't know.
I'm moderating this district town hall event. I'm Judy Chu,
Watch out.
a minister, a resident of Claremont for 13 years, living on 8th Street, which is part of Copeland Place, that part of it. My grandmother and mother also lived here in Claremont. I'd like to welcome our Claremont Council members, Mayor Larry Schroeder and Joe Lyon. Is there any of the others here? Thank you for being here, friends.
Okay.
She better turn in my
A
question.
town hall has as its goal that we hear each other, that we put our concerns on record in the form of questions and answers as fairly and briefly as possible. Time's very tight. You have a contact card, a comment card,
Right.
and you have written guidelines for conduct. The guidelines must be followed.
Right.
You have them in writing. I'm not going to read them to you, but you notice that it is a civil attempt to get us to listen to each other, to exercise respect in speech and actions.
That's right, sir. Try for a chance.
Refrain from demeaning, discriminatory, or harassing behavior.
Right over here.
And then that is defined in the next paragraph, which you can read for yourself, and which we will enforce. We hope that this will be a model of respect, the way we deal with each other in this community. Respect that will help set an example for other town meetings and other places around the country. So please observe those guidelines, read them over for yourselves, and we will stick to them today. We're going to collect cards throughout the hour. The staff will collect the card with a question on it when you raise your hand.
Thank you.
And then those cards will be sorted by topic and brought up here. And the questions will be selected and asked of Dr. Chu or the panelists. I will select from them just as fairly as I can, with a goal of covering several of the most prominent current topics in the very brief time available, keeping things moving, and also trying to prioritize per constituents. There's only 2 million of them. The diverse people who live in the 27th Congressional District. I will read the name of the person on the card and the city in which he or she lives. That person will then stand. A handheld mic will come to that person, and you'll ask a question. You'll have to be brief. Ask it as best as you can, similar to the question that you asked on paper, being very brief. Now, before the Q&A, Judy Chu is going to update us for a few minutes on her priorities, and then 3 community experts will very, very briefly, only a couple of minutes for each of them at Judy's request.
Can you hold this for me?
Each is going to frame a hot issue for us: the struggle over health care, the struggle over immigration, the struggle over environmental protection, and the climate. So now an introduction to Judy. We're so glad Congressmember Judy Chu chose to have her town meeting here in Claremont. She's been in Congress. Representing us for 8 years in Congress. In 2012,
do you agree with the Sierra Club that we should limit mass immigration, including illegal immigration?
The district lost hunks of the San Fernando Valley and picked up those of us on the east. She represents 15 San Gabriel Valley cities from Pasadena to Upland. Her district line wanders up into the San Gabriel Mountains, includes part of Wrightwood, goes south through Monterey Park to the Puente Hills. Her district represents immigrants from all over the globe, including about a third people of Chinese and Asian heritage residents, nearly a third Hispanic and Latino people. Judy's parents were married in China. Her grandfather ran a Chinese restaurant in Watts. She was born in South Central LA.
Okay.
Her father was an electrical technician. Her mother was a Teamster cannery worker.
Right.
She was recently appointed to the Ways and Means Committee, where she'll be front and center in the fight to protect our access to health care, improving our tax code, protecting Social Security. She's also in the Small Business Committee of Congress.
How about supporting Americans?
Judy is a widely acknowledged leader of the Progressive Caucus. She organized the large Creative Rights Caucus, which works on copyright and fighting counterfeiting of intellectual stuff.
Nobody's there.
She's the chair of the Congressional Asian Pacific American Caucus, and that caucus, under her leadership, works very closely with the Black and Hispanic congressional caucuses. Judy's got a really deep commitment to district-level constituent services and improvements, like helping to launch lots of new businesses in our communities by sponsoring small business development centers. After years of advocacy, she's responsible for the legislation and the presidential action that brought permanent protection to our local mountains. Dr. Chu taught psychology at our grassroots community colleges. Maybe that's how she manages to cope with Congress.
How about us coping with her?
She served her community, her neighbors, and all kinds of elected public
She's not representing
offices.
us.
She's earned our trust in each elected position as a school board member, and in city and state government, and now in federal leadership. We know her to be a great spokeswoman and strategist on immigrant rights and worker rights, and she's celebrated as the first Chinese American woman ever elected to the U.S. House of Representatives.
You know, PhDs do not indicate strength, or not many people are standing. Only a couple of true believers.
Well, hello, Claremont.
Unfortunately.
What an incredible turnout. Thank you all for being here, and thank you all for coming to talk about the most important issues of our nation. It is so great
Who do I give these to?
be here at this town hall to dialogue with you and to be able to hear what you have to say about these issues. And I want to thank the incredible Reverend Jean Letellier. Wow. Just such a leader here in Claremont, and actually I knew him as the executive director of the Southern California Economical Council. I mean, he was like, he is very,
That means he's
very
like a progressive.
outstanding.
He's
And I also want
not
to
a
thank
biblical
my
pastor.
panelists, true leaders in their areas, and so it is a special treat to have them here to share their expertise with you. Well, next week Saturday will mark the 100th day since Donald Trump was sworn in as president.
Yeah!
And what's happened
Love it.
in these 100 days has been truly alarming.
It's great.
This is a president who in 100 days has already bombed 2 nations.
Stopped
We
an
were
airfield.
horrified by the poisoning of nearly 75 Syrians, including children. But one thing is clear.
Nobody was killed.
He should have come to Congress first.
Okay. Where were you, though? But where were you when Hillary bombed Libya? There was no call for Congress there.
Not only did he not do that, he then went on to bomb Afghanistan with the mother of all bombs.
Awesome.
Now, there are many questions that need to be debated by Congress.
He said he was going to blow
before
the
future
shit out of
action
him,
is taken,
right?
especially with the volatile situation
Okay.
in North Korea.
Democrats only care
Is he
about
going to
checks and
launch
balances
into
when it's
another
not their
open-ended
president.
wars in Iraq and Afghanistan? Does he even have a coherent policy towards Syria?
Americans first.
And I want to ask, if he was so moved by the deaths of these beautiful babies, what about the beautiful babies of the Syrian refugees who are now being blocked from coming to the United States?
We have to protect Americans. That's why.
A thoughtful debate is what we need.
I have
especially
angels watching out for me.
considering The fact that we have a president
Thanks for watching,
who does
everyone.
nothing of insulting world leaders through impulsive tweets drawn up at 5 a.m.
Works for me.
This is why we in Congress are demanding that before
Keep your eyes on
any
Keith.
other military action takes place, Congress must have a
This is my
debate
good
and
friend,
a vote
Jesse Suave.
on an AUMF, an authorization of the use of military force.
Why didn't you do that over Libya? Where were you when Libya was getting bombed?
This is a president who is detaining and deporting dreamers. Dreamers.
What about American
Students
dreams?
Who are here through no fault of their own. Who were protected at one time by President Obama's Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals Program, DACA.
Right.
Despite what President Obama says, ICE agents are patrolling neighborhoods
Good.
and arresting individuals in sensitive locations.
And remind,
which were
you're a Latino for
previously
Trump, right?
by policy off limits. Schoolyards, courtyards, hospitals. Families are being separated and forced to live in fear that they may be the next victim of these draconian measures. We must stand up for the immigrants who have worked so hard to make this country
Legal, not illegal. Legal immigrants are okay. Legal. It's got to be legal. Legal, not illegal.
And this is a president who is persisting
this is supposed to be a town hall,
in his
right?
attempts to throw 24 million Americans off their health insurance.
Who's paying for it? It's a scam.
White House and Republican leaders of Congress said they are hoping to bring back the Trump care bill back from the dead. And this is despite the fact that they have
Keep an eye on this
visible
guy. He's
failure
hostile.
just a month ago
He's the
when they
picture of
had
what
to
left-wingers
vote
are like.
because they didn't have enough votes. After their humiliating defeat, they have been negotiating with different factions of the Republican caucus
Right.
for votes.
Right.
And the amendments that they have proposed will actually make the bill worse.
Good.
The cruelest aspects of their health care bill actually are still the same from the original Trump care bill. That is, 24 million Americans still get kicked off their health insurance.
Not even
It
insurance.
still creates an age tax, allowing insurance companies to charge older people 5 times more than younger people for their premiums, and increase the premiums for an American earning $30,000 by $6,000 a year on the average.
My friend's premiums
It
doubled.
still creates a woman
Please
tax,
keep it down so we can hear.
returning us to a time when women could be charged more for their health care plan than men, when things like pregnancy were considered a pre-existing condition.
What?
It still
Really?
defunds Planned Parenthood, ripping away
Women are
care
born
from
pregnant?
millions of women
No.
across this country, the 1 in 5 women in this country that get their health care from Planned Parenthood.
Ugh.
The bill still ends the expansion of Medicaid, meaning that all those young people trying to stop their opioid addiction and all those senior citizens needing long-term care would not have access to those funds.
That's not true. They could go to something
But
else.
now, Republicans have added a provision that would allow states to have insurance companies discriminate
Aye.
against you
Keep
for
them in mind.
pre-existing conditions.
Okay.
States could allow the insurance companies in their jurisdiction to charge sick people more than healthy people for specific conditions.
That's what
making
insurance
healthcare
does.
unaffordable. For example, a completed pregnancy, even with no complications, would end up costing women an additional $17,000, according to the Center for American Progress. Someone for cancer would end up paying over $71,000 more per year.
You know
in
why? Because of
additional
Obamacare.
surcharges under this latest Republican compromise. To compensate for the extra cost that this would incur for the American people, Republicans are also proposing the creation of high-risk pools. That is a program where the sickest could enroll to get health care.
That's a perfect plan.
But high-risk pools are no solution.
Yes, they are.
They have a long history of being underfunded, with long waiting periods and astronomical out-of-pocket costs. In reality, sick people would have to pay more.
If they don't have
But you know
insurance.
what stopped them the last time, and what can stop them again? It is you, the American people.
Repeal Obamacare. Repeal every word of it. Make healthcare great again.
Now, I am inspired by the activism of people all around the country who demanded town halls like this one and who fill those town halls to capacity, telling their healthcare stories and other stories. Now, while Republicans may have discounted all of this, I know that they felt it very severely. For a bill that will extend our entire federal government.
Shut it
We
down.
Democrats do not want to see a government shutdown,
That's not true.
but we will also
not
not
true.
be held hostage to a bill that has poison pill provisions that are unacceptable.
So then repeal Obamacare.
The reason I say that is that President Trump is insisting that this bill include $1.4 billion for that boondoggle of a border wall.
Yeah, build the wall. Build that wall. Build it.
10 feet higher.
This wall was supposed to be
Exactly,
paid for
made in
by
America.
Mexico.
Don't give them aid money.
The wall is estimated to cost twice as much as Trump claimed during the campaign. Now it's expected to cost our nation, our taxpayers, $21.6 billion.
It's cheaper than feeding them and having them in our public schools.
He wants the U.S. taxpayer to pay for it, or I'll shut down the government.
Wrong. Stop lying.
We Democrats
That's a lie.
vow that not a single
Bullshit.
penny of our American tax dollars will go toward building this wall.
Build that wall. Build that wall. Build that wall. Build that wall. Build that wall. Build that wall. Build it. 20 feet tall.
Also, not vote for this bill if it defunds Planned Parenthood.
Stop killing babies. Every life is... Wow. These are the baby killers? Right here. That's the guy who thinks it's okay to kill babies.
Over 55 million babies killed.
Trump
Mostly
released his
black.
budget proposal for this country.
So they hate black lives too?
This budget is radical.
That's disgusting.
Even by the new standards of his already radical presidency.
Thank God.
It increases
Love
the
it.
military budget by an unprecedented amount of $54 billion.
Awesome. Good.
In order to pay for this, it cuts billions from essentially every other government service.
They're not even
Like
doing their
his
jobs.
business and healthcare plan, Trump's budget is designed for the wealthiest few.
No, it's not.
It is Robin Hood in the reverse.
Oh, brother.
Stealing from the poor
Nope.
to give to the rich.
That's a lie.
He will completely eliminate federal support for Meals on Wheels,
Okay. Let the states do it.
for after-school programs,
Let the states do it.
for community development block grant funds,
Let-
and for the low-income.
If they're a
energy
sanctuary state, they shouldn't get the money.
program. He wants to totally eliminate funding to the National Endowment for the Arts
Good.
and the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, which funds NPR.
Please do.
He wants to cut the State Department by 29%.
Yes. Yes.
Replace them with a military presence that's beyond even what the Pentagon has requested.
That's
and
not true.
In spite of their stated
That's not true.
desire for diplomacy. But the worst aspects of his budget has to do with his attack on science.
Keep sharing. Keep sharing,
You know,
everybody.
just yesterday, I spoke at an incredible March for Science.
March for fanaticism. Climate change. I believe in climate. This guy's a perv. This guy has issues. He's a perv. This guy has issues, man.
What are you doing here, Arthur?
He's disturbing.
There in Pasadena. And many more thousands around the country. Thank goodness they were there.
Look at that guy. He has
Because
issues.
President Trump slashes $5.8 billion out of the budget for the National Institute of Health.
Good.
That's 20% of its budget.
We do better than they do.
By doing this, he's blocking
We don't need
research and cures
No, he's not.
treatments for diseases like cancer, Parkinson's, and Alzheimer's.
It's not true.
And it leaves us more vulnerable to the next global pandemic like Zika or
Oh my
Ebola.
goodness. Why do we have it? Because
But
of illegal
his worst
immigration.
attack on the budget is reserved for the Environmental Protection Agency,
Cut it.
where he reserves the greatest cut of all of
Yes.
31% and a cut of 25% of its workforce.
Thank God.
Shut up, Arthur.
In
Kill the
fact,
EPA.
Trump has reversed many of President Obama's
Are you mad?
environmental executive actions.
He's mad.
Which say, for instance, the eastern countries from coal pollution in the streams and the waters. He is appointed as head of the EPA a climate change skeptic.
He's wonderful.
Scott Pruitt, who has soon to be-
Wonderful. God bless Scott Pruitt.
Climate change is a
He's
liberal
actually
scam.
Total
hostile
scam, and it hurts
to the
working
role of
people.
Science at EPA. And in fact,
Shut it
they've
down.
actually removed the word science from the EPA's mission statement.
Because it isn't science. It's boondoggle politics.
Paid off.
With these pressing issues
Exactly.
in Congress right now, I'm going to be counting on leaders like you to be engaged, to
Yes.
be active,
Yes.
to make sure people know how the
That's right, Jose.
policies will
It's a
affect
hoax.
them, and to make sure that people know how they can make their voices heard.
Like me. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here. Thank you, Judy. Thank you. Thank you, Judy Chu. That's why we're here. That's why we're here.
Arthur, you live in Torrance.
Oh, I know. Isn't that great? You should come by.
This country remains the country we know.
It's cooler.
This cannot be a country controlled
Thank
by
you.
Russia. We must
Hi.
have a truly
Defund the EPA. Close it down.
Arthur loves Russia.
and of Trump's ties to Russia.
Fake.
Fake news. Alternative facts.
And Trump must reveal his tax return.
When you reveal yours, Judy, reveal your tax returns, Judy. Reveal yours. Reveal yours. When you reveal yours, I want Judy Chu to reveal her tax returns. Not a lot of people support it. Not a lot of people support it.
He paid over $38 million.
Reveal your tax returns, Judy. Judy, are you going to reveal your tax returns? You reveal yours.
Show us your tax returns, Arthur.
Show us yours. Do you even have a job?
He has paid more than you, Congresswoman.
You need to pay your taxes too.
40 years, our presidents have all revealed the tax returns.
He pays a higher tax rate than Obama did.
Wasn't his taxes leaked?
Yeah, they were leaked.
A country where Muslims are blocked from coming here just because they're
Military
Muslims.
age.
That's a lie! That is a lie! Shame on you, Judy Chu! Shame on you, Judy Chu! Trump had Muslim supporters. Trump, yes, you're a crook, we know.
Where immigrants are rounded up at schools and at courts without
No,
any
illegals. You're an immigrant.
what real threat they pose to this country.
No! Legal immigration only! Legal immigration only! Are you a crook or what? Look at you're a crook. You're a crook. You're a hate group? Yeah, we know.
Of you, the American people, is so important.
Remind us again,
I have
Jesse.
been inspired
You're an
by
immigrant.
the desire
Born
of
in
the American
Mexico.
people to make
But
sure
you came
this
legally.
remains the country we know. I went to the March on Science. I went to the Women's March in LA. I was amazed.
Not too much clapping.
And I was inspired by the protesters at LAX. After the first
I was there. I was a protester.
myself went down
Thanks,
to-
Judy. I was a protester there. Thank you. Thanks, Judy.
I went to personally help free 50 Iranians who were being detained despite the fact that they had. But what was so inspirational was immediately seeing protesters, hundreds of them, of all ethnic backgrounds and religions. And in the days to follow, it turned into thousands, all united in the message that this must remain the country of tolerance and diversity that we've grown up with.
And that's why we voted for Trump. Hillary called black people super predators.
Germany and France.
Yeah. Americans first. Americans first.
Stay active, whether it's through the different chapters of Indivisible that are popping up all over.
I'm indivisible for Trump. Yeah.
Or your own advocacy organization. We need
LA for
you
Trump.
to stay informed so that Congress can hear from you,
Absolutely.
your members, your neighbors, and everyone in the community.
And that's
Our
why we're here.
research shows that for over Trump Care 1.0, we can have a real impact, and we can use it to stop
People,
Trump Care
this is the
2.0,
facts. The Republicans
and we can
killed
have
Ryan
earthquake
Care
of an
because it was
impact
bad.
on the 2018 election.
Democrats did nothing. Boo! You guys are going to have 60 Republicans in the U.S. Senate.
Democratic Party is done.
Democratic Party is dying all over this country.
So I thank you for joining me, and let's keep
Lori,
fighting.
thanks for... Yeah! Keep fighting! Fight for Trump! Show us your tax returns, Judy! Show us your tax returns, Judy! How much does she pay? How much does Judy pay? What do you think? This is it. This is the same guy who stood for killing babies right here.
National resistance is a hate group.
You're a hate group, what?
And it was perfectly okay to cheer and boo the ideas.
Yeah! Thank you.
But we are not going to boo or cheer each other as we turn to the next part of this time
Karen Hackley,
together.
God bless
We
Donald
will
Trump.
be respectful of each other with disagreements. Disagreements are fine, but without being disagreeable.
Gotcha.
I'm not criticizing what we just did. We had a great rally.
Thank you.
Now we're going to have a town hall. We're going to allow, in order to get to the questions within 10 minutes,
Right.
only a couple of minutes for these three wonderful people to frame and highlight issues that are on everyone's mind, including Congresswoman Chu. Maybe we'll get a few more words in responding in a few minutes with Congressmember
Make
Chu.
California red again. Get rid of Commie Chu.
A form that you want to turn in with a question and your city and name on it. Please raise your hand and a staff person will come and get it from you. Sergio Batista.
I don't think they're gonna call me.
CFO
my name
of
down.
Care, serving more than 1,400 patients every year with high-quality
damn.
primary healthcare services in our underserved communities in the San
Commie
Diego
Chu,
Valley.
I'm gonna photobomb you. Okay, this is how you make America great again. Bye, Commie.
I serve the greater Pasadena and San Gabriel Valley, and this is in the western part of San Gabriel Valley.
Watch my step.
You know, what the Affordable Care Act has really done for our community, which goes from Pasadena all the way down to South Milwaukee, is the ability for us to provide 10,000 more individuals with health care. It has allowed our organization to grow from 35 employees to now over 160 employees. This is individuals that work and live in our community, that are part of our community. The most important part of the Affordable Care Act is not really the building or the increase of number of sites. It really is the impact that we have.
And it's having a bad impact.
Prior to the Affordable Care Act,
Comment below. Do you like the Affordable Care Act?
that have to go to Valley County. I don't know if you personally have ever been to Valley. It's really a way for either $8 specialty is a way to live to a year prior to the Affordable Care Act. After the expansion of the Affordable Care Act, it allowed us to increase the number of sites, as well as for the individuals to actually go to specialty. We had that demand. People did not and would not have the money to go and pay for the drugs.
And they still don't.
Such as for hypertension, diabetes, things that in the long run are very critical, that cost us as taxpayers, the individuals, and have a personal effect on the individuals, you know, at a very costly price. The Affordable Care Act has actually allowed us to go ahead and provide additional services.
No, it
such
hasn't.
as integrated behavioral health, start doing substance abuse, look at not only for children, which is one of the things that was there before, but for seniors. The other big innovation is we started our own pharmacy. Now we're able to go ahead and provide pharmacy services from Pasadena all the way to South Milwaukee. The other expansion that we did was optometry. And all these services would not have been possible without the Affordable Care Act.
Veterans before illegals. I agree with you, Jesse.
The repeal of the Affordable Care Act has an impact, not just the dollar, but individuals. Now we see individuals being able to take control of their own medical custody in that case.
No, they're dependent on the
We see
government.
individuals being educated on how to go about using medical insurance. All those things are possible only because of the Affordable Care Act. If the Affordable Care Act isn't just going to be repealed, which, as Congresswoman Chu said, we're not going to let that happen. It will take everybody.
Repeal, baby, repeal.
Now have all these individuals, around 7,000 to 8,000, to go back and not have insurance.
The insurance isn't even covering everything. There are doctors who won't accept Obamacare.
A year to actually receive those services. One example is prior to the Affordable Care
Comment
Act,
below. What do you really think of the Obamacare Affordable Care Act?
and go to a specialist. After the Affordable Care Act was easy. Because of the Affordable Care Act, we were able to diagnose that particular individual. And we were able to do that. We were able to have a remission. Those are the real impacts that we're talking about in our community. And it's really the community of Pasadena and Valley, we all that makes the difference.
Yes, they provided water.
Partner with the building project. And now they're able to go ahead and be part of the river fabric as well. So that is just the short term of what the Affordable Care Act has been for the community.
Yeah, lots of doctors are retired because of Obamacare. People are retired because of Obamacare.
For years, Angelica has been the respected director of CHIRLA, the Coalition for Humane Immigrants' Rights.
Oh, brother.
A leading local coalition since 1986, embracing and driving progressive social change and civil rights and liberties and justice for all of us, with a big impact on the national picture. 2 minutes.
Boo.
I'll use part of my minutes.
Miss
to
Open Dam
describe
Borders.
the constituent of Congressional District 27. I want to say that. So CURE's mission is to create a just society fully inclusive of immigrants. And so to that end, what we do is we engage directly immigrants so that they
Legal or illegal?
engage civically on their own behalf. So they know their rights, the resources that are available, but also their responsibilities. I've been asked to talk to you about the immigration executive orders.
Thank God.
The first thing that I want you to know is that there are 3 immigration executive orders that have actually been signed by President Trump.
All right.
The first one is called the Interior Enforcement Executive Orders, was signed on January 25th.
Wonderful.
The Interior Enforcement Executive Order does away with all prosecutorial discretion.
Good.
What that means is that no longer is there a decision around equities that individuals have, even though they've been long-term residents of this.
That's right. Illegals don't have rights.
It basically declares that undocumented immigrants are public safety and national security threats.
Absolutely.
And to that end, we're going to, what the government is going to do. Do you
remember what happened to Catherine Steinway?
Local law enforcement to be force multipliers for the enforcement of immigration laws. And so what they're doing is expanding a program called 287G.
Awesome.
Which basically seeks to do the work of immigration by engaging law enforcement deputies.
Good. Yeah!
If the individuals do not do that, if the law enforcement does not do that, it is these areas are called or deemed sanctuary cities.
Boo!
The definition has not been fully defined. Those sanctuary cities are then penalized.
Yes.
And so forcing our local law enforcement to make these types of decisions.
Yeah, they gotta
But
do their job.
We're certainly working to stop that.
Good. No,
The second
let them prosecute.
order is the border enforcement executive order. The border enforcement seeks to talk about
He snorts.
the billions and billions of dollars
snorts.
that Congresswoman Judy Chu talked about in building the wall.
Yes, build that wall.
Solution. It is not a solution and will only lead to the death of individuals who are trying to seek refuge in this country. The second thing
The whole
that this
point is to keep 'em out.
does is create mandatory detention, including mandatory detention of children without due process.
How many Americans are not getting due process right now?
To get private prisons who do immigration detention to enter into contract with them. This is why the private prison stocks have increased since the sign-in of this executive order.
They need more jails.
The last executive order is the executive order which is around the Muslim ban.
It's not a Muslim ban. Stop saying that.
And so what I want you to know
It's
is
a lie.
this is the executive order that seeks to freeze refugee admission.
It's a lie.
of people who are fleeing.
87% of Muslim countries are allowed to come into the United States. They were not under the ban.
In the courts because of you. And so that is
It was because of a rogue judge, not individuals.
I will conclude by saying that we have so much work to do. Because right now, immigrants and families are scared. They need to know their
If they're
rights.
illegal.
They need to be protected. And finally, I just want to invite you to march with us on May 1st in favor of immigrant rights.
I will be there in favor of Americans' rights. Americans first. Build the wall.
As the local senior regional representative of the Wilderness Society, which
Jesus.
since 2 years before I was born has been
When
the
people
leading
are gonna lie, I'm
conservation
calling them out.
organization working to protect our nation's shared wildlands.
There's so much lying.
Daniel?
Thank you. So, I'm giving 2 minutes to talk about the current administration's agenda on the environment and not enough time. So I thought I would hone in on one issue, which is looking at how the administration's proposed budget outlines its priorities for conservation. And as the Washington Post described,
Americans
on
first.
31st,
Shut down the
this
EPA.
illustrates the intent by the Trump administration, one that sets the Environmental Protection Agency fundamentally at odds with the environmental policies of the past 8 years,
Thanks for
and in some
sharing.
cases, nearly 3 decades. We're looking at, as the Congresswoman pointed out, cuts for the Environmental Protection Agency, more than any other agency at 31%. asking us to get rid of.
So this is the kind of thing that happens at town halls. One thing I wanted to comment on, you don't see a lot of young people here because it was the individuals, indivisibles who advertised this, but they're not here.
And these cuts are also in our land management agencies like
No young people.
A
lot of them are old.
Part of agriculture, which oversees the national forest and our San Diego Mountains National Monument, are proposed to be cut by 21%. These radical cuts in funding illustrate a priority to roll back bedrock environmental protections that have preserved our land, water, and air for generations. This budget process isn't solely determined by the president. This is a proposal. However, as the Congresswoman also noted, this is a must-pass bill. And next week, the
Hey Shirley, how you doing? You have some really hostile old people here. They have like no manners.
For bad writers. Writers are the things that folks are going to try to get inserted into this process, and those will include attacks on the Antiquities Act, which gave the president the authority to declare the national monument, attacks on the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge, attacks on the environmental protection agency's ability to control pollutants like
They don't protect us.
outside the leading to global warming. Process. I'm very proud of the Congresswoman for advocating for a clean bill and a clean process, and also planting flags. Our state senators and the Congress introduced a bill to protect the Arctic Wildlife Refuge wilderness,
Which will fail.
and other bills that will seek to protect public lands are a great way to show we care for our land, water, and air.
But the EPA didn't defend the Colorado River. All that gold was polluting the Colorado River. Close the EPA.
Files here of health-related, immigration-related, and other environment and other. I'm going to pull from each pile. Lori Schroeder, would you please stand and be ready to ask your question. A microphone is supposed to come to you from staff. And before that, I'm going to read a question for Marilee Scaff, who is sitting here and is going to raise her hand, but I'm going to ask her a question, please, to get us started. What's the current thinking in Congress about Social Security?
We got to save it.
That's the question.
And then she's going to ask her question after the answer. You're standing up and ready to go.
Well, the one thing that I want to stop from happening, because this is a favorite, this is a favorite subject of Speaker Ryan. Speaker Ryan wants to privatize Social Security,
When did he say that?
and that would be
Did he ever say that?
a huge mistake.
When?
We cannot privatize
When did he say it?
Social Security. We must
No, he didn't.
continue
Baby Bush, no.
to have it work like it does, and actually it is working very, very well. But I do think that to keep the funds as solvent as possible,
Right.
which it is.
No, it's not. No, it isn't. No, it's not. Social Security is going bankrupt.
Lift the cap on the percentage of income that
Okay, so she wants to raise taxes on Social Security.
right
Okay.
now, only about $100,000 of our income is taxed on Social Security.
So hear that she wants to raise taxes.
Sorry, I think if a person earns $200,000, they can afford to pay more tax on their Social Security.
Including you, Congresswoman. Including you.
Lori from Claremont.
Hi, thank you very much for all that you're doing for us. My question is about how we support the Southern students.
Oh, God. What about supporting American students?
Oh, there it is. Sorry. My question is how we can best support the DACA students and what resources are
you serious?
To refer them to. I know there's a legal clinic out at the University of Laverne that's very good at working with immigrant and refugee rights. But what can we do when people need our help?
What about American
Before
students?
she answers, Jill Patchen, would you stand up and be ready to ask?
What about our homeless?
your question
What about
after
veterans?
this is answered?
So DACA, for those who don't know, is the Deferred Action for Childhood Rights. That is the program that President Obama put into place.
I hate DACA.
With the support of our Congresswoman, actually, to make sure
Trump isn't even repealing it yet, so chill out, people.
Those young people, what we need to do is ensure that the backup because we need to make sure that those individuals who are now teachers and scientists and who are
Americans could have been doing those jobs. Americans first. Keep sharing this video, guys. Keep sharing it.
Our hope is that the DREAM Act, which is a permanent solution, gets actually is signed into law. That's what we should be fighting for.
How about our American dreamers? What about their dreams?
The other thing that I think is really important is that there's a lot of young people who signed up for the program and who just do not know whether or not to renew. What we're telling them
No, don't.
you should do is renew the program. You need to make sure that you renew your
No, don't renew, because it's going to end.
your work permit so that you do not have any lack of protection. If they have questions, they're
DACA is
unsure
unconstitutional.
whether
It's not a protection.
they can refer to us at Chairla, and we will provide, we'll help them with legal services and give them as much information as they can. And I have some information here for you.
American kids first.
Jill asks her question. Kim Huff came all the way up from Pasadena. Kim, would you stand and be ready to ask your question after Jill? Jill from Claremont.
Hi, thank you. I'm wondering what is being done in Congress about a conflict of interest.
Oh, brother.
And breaking constitutional law.
What about Hillary's? What about yours, Congresswoman Chu?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that question?
I'm wondering what steps are being taken, what action about his serious conflict.
Do you know how many ethical violations Judy
in
Chu
his
had?
business dealings? He hasn't given up any of his businesses.
Yes, he did.
He has
Women of trust.
hotels around the world. He owes money to the Russian banks, to Chinese
Oh,
banks.
brother.
Well,
Yeah, I mean, he's been, basically, this is
Fake news.
constitutional law. He's been asked to,
Okay, the question's clear.
Thank you for this question. I am deeply involved in this issue because I am on Ways and Means, and we actually had, because Ways and Means actually has the subpoena power to get his tax returns.
And you're not going to get them. You give yours first, Judy. You give yours first. I'm so fed up with these congressmen. They need to give theirs.
Resolution in which you can demand a hearing on a bill, and indeed that was the whole reason for doing this is because of these conflicts
No, they're
of
not.
interest. You know that he's been in Mar-a-Lago 1 out of every 3 days.
What about Obama?
That he has
And how many vacations he went on?
our world leaders there, President of Japan, President of China, they are there, and the kinds of security related issues that are being discussed are being done there with no accountability.
But you were charged by the ethics committee for 9 violations. You had 9 violations by the ethics committee. She did. 9 times. Okay. I get to record. She was corrupt. She broke the law. She broke the law. It's fine. I was
I'm asking you to
not.
leave the premises, sir.
Okay.
You need to leave now.
Okay. That's
Go.
fine. That's
Right
fine.
now.
Okay. That's fine.
Communism. Wow, you guys threw him out.
Can you get my friend, please? Because my friend, I need to get my stuff. Gary, could you go tell?
Crazy.
Could you guys tell Jesse? I need to get my stuff. Jesse's in there. He's gonna get my stuff. I'm going, but I need to get my stuff. Okay?
Jesse to leave also, or no?
He doesn't have to leave. It's his choice. She had 9
I mean,
ethics.
They're going crazy in these town halls across the country, and no one gets thrown out. And because he says, you guys are ridiculous.
It is
man.
ridiculous. You guys are disgracing that badge, and you're disgracing that. Do not threaten me,
I'm
sir.
not threatening you. I'm telling you, you need to leave now.
Why are you coming at me, sir? I need to get my stuff. Thank
You
you.
need to follow the Constitution.
You need to follow the. You took an oath, did you not?
Yes, I did.
I am using my freedom of speech,
freedom
sir.
Of speech. How dare you?
That's right.
not
Shame on
uphold
you.
your right to
Shame on all of you.
uphold the
They
Constitution.
took away. I'm waiting for my
How
stuff, which is
dare
right
you?
there. There should be a folder in it.
Democrats
Do you have my
aren't
folder?
being thrown out of town halls across the country. You're throwing him out because he interrupted her for a second? That is ridiculous. Shame on you.
You guys are shameful.
Shame on you.
You know what?
He
When
has
the
a
funds are
First
both and your
Amendment
pensions
right.
are gone, this is public
You
property.
have your property, you need to leave.
Okay.
Why? Why does he have to leave? What law did he break that he has to leave?
Thank you.
He's interrupting a public meeting.
Okay, what law?
And
are
other
you
people were
enforcing?
interrupting the meeting
What
too.
law are you
People were calling
enforcing?
out.
Let's go.
What
Leave.
law are you enforcing?
Look and look.
You are enforcing a law right now. What law are you enforcing that
Let's
he
see,
can't
Penal Code
talk?
Section 403, 409, all those different penal codes.
So that goes over freedom of speech in the First Amendment.
It's a violation
Because
of the penal
Democrats
code.
across the country are.
And it's
are
happened in
being
other
crazy
town
in
halls.
these
You've been
things,
advised you
and
need to
they
leave now.
never get
Okay,
thrown
just
out.
for the record, they're
They
pushing me
never
away.
get thrown
Yeah,
out.
you are. Let's go.
Wow. This is what it is when you're a Trump supporter in California.
Exactly.
You get thrown out of town hall.
What's your name?
Because you speak
Bennett?
up. That's the whole purpose of
There
a
you go.
town hall is to speak up.
Okay.
What do you think this
Let's
is?
go.
What do you think this
Look at
event
that.
is?
I understand exactly what this event
No,
is.
you don't.
No, you do not.
No,
It's
you
a town
don't.
hall,
This
and
is
I'm
not a
allowed to speak
lecture.
out.
This is not a lecture.
Thank you.
It's not a lecture.
Okay,
it's a
so
town hall.
this is it. I'm in public property, sir, and I'm allowed to be here. Thank you.
He did not break any law.
That's it.
You're not even citing him
Ac-
for anything.
Absolutely.
If he broke the law, you'd be citing him right now, but you're not. He didn't break the law. You are
Okay.
supposed to uphold your.
I want you to know
honor
the
to
world
uphold
sees your
Constitution.
shame and the
You
world
still
sees your
uphold the
disregard.
First Amendment. Shame on you.
Shame on you,
Shame
Bennett.
on you.
Shame on
You're
you.
the first one to
Shame
break
on
this
you.
country.
Shame on
Shame
you.
on you.
Shame on you.
Shame.
Shame.
How dare
You stop there. I'm
You
in
are a
public property,
traitor
sir.
across the
You know
country.
better than
He
that.
has the First Amendment
Shame.
right.
Look at
How
that.
dare you?
Shame on these
Democrats never
police.
get thrown out of
Shame on
anything.
all of you.
How dare you?
You prevented my
How
First
dare
Amendment
you?
rights. Judy Chu
Remember-
cannot hide behind her corruption. I called her out on the ethics violations that she's done. It is documented, bipartisan. Every member of that ethics committee slammed her for ethical
Remember-
violations, and so are
By
you.
throwing out Trump people, you are siding with Black Lives Matter who wants to kill you. That's what you are doing
I
right
am
now.
pro-law enforcement,
How dare
and this is how you behave.
How dare you?
This
We
is
know
it,
who you voted
ladies and
for.
gentlemen.
We
This
know
is
you voted for
California,
Trump,
where
so
Trump
why are you
supporters
putting
are
out a Trump
maligned.
supporter?
Go for it, Gary. You
How
got it.
dare you?
This is corruption right
Shocking.
here. The only
This is
reason that they
typical
comply
Claremont.
with the Democratic police, why they comply with the Democratic Party, because
Wow.
their pensions are going to get cut because of the sanctuary state policies. What are you going to tell your kids tonight, Bennett, when you broke the law? And you, Martinez, you prevented my First Amendment
Wow.
rights. What kind of an example does that set for your children? You have no words to say because you're shameful. I want everybody sharing this, including you, Shirley. This is what's happening to Trump supporters across this country, across the state of California. Because in red states and in blue states where red people are stepping up, this is how they treat people whose rights are being infringed. This is a town hall, and she is lying, and I'm allowed to call her out on it. You want to talk about disruptions? Let's talk about the people who are attacking me. I told you, sir, there was a gentleman who threatened me, and you did nothing about it. I want you to get this, Gary. Gentleman was attacking me. He stuck his middle finger in my face. He invaded my personal
Well,
space.
he's a Democrat,
Why
so
didn't you
that's
do anything
okay.
about it? Sir, answer my question. Why did you do nothing? I told you to come over there and warn him. This guy, I didn't even get any warning, so why am I being thrown out? Answer my
What law
question.
Are you enforcing?
Arthur.
What kind of...
You're
No,
done.
no,
Bye.
no, you're not done, sir. I got you on
not
full
here.
blast.
You're not
Bye.
allowed here.
Answer me, Martinez.
You're not allowed here.
Answer, deal
What
with
law
it.
are you enforcing that we can't step on the sidewalk?
It's
What
public.
law? You're supposed to enforce the law.
Exactly.
You're supposed to uphold the Constitution.
No.
I wasn't thrown out.
This is what's happening to Trump supporters across this country who are calling out the corruption. Shame on you. Look at this. They run away. We got more runners. We got more runners. We got more runners.
Shame on you.
Shame on all of you.
Shame on you.
Whoa, why did you hit him? Why did you hit him?
Back up. You're disrupting the meeting from outside. You are being asked to leave as well. Okay? You understand?
Oh, I understand.
Okay.
We're being discriminated against.
No, it's not discrimination.
Yes, it is.
You're disrupting
You had Democrats who were disrupting other meetings, and you've done nothing about it.
You guys don't believe in that. Typical Claremont. This is
I need
Claremont.
this shared, everybody. Robin Vidston should share this. This is what we are trying to do. This is what we're showing. So tell me, what are you going to do when sanctuary state passes and your pensions get cut? What are you going to do about it? Martinez, I'm still waiting for an answer. What's the example you want to give your kids? This is the example when you go to elementary schools and talk about police and the work they do. This is the work you do. throwing out
it's a
citizens who have
Republican
First Amendment
standing
rights.
for the cops, and I don't know why. I don't know why our side stands up for you guys. So this is what you guys do every time. The Democrats, they run amok, they can burn stuff, they can wear masks, call themselves Antifa, and be illegal and all that stuff. Nothing happens. I roll over a stop sign, $500 ticket. Shame on you. How dare you?
This is
we
what
are Americans.
I'm sure this is what happened in Berkeley too. Police officers went after legal residents and they did nothing to stop Antifa. Martinez, I'm still waiting for an answer.
Wow.
Bennett, I'm still waiting for an answer. What are you going to tell your children tonight when you dismissed a law-abiding citizen exercising his First Amendment rights? Do you have any words? What would you like to tell your kids? No, you did not tell me what you would tell your children. No, you didn't. You're on full blast, sir. You are disrespectful to my First Amendment rights. So I'm going to answer again. What would you like to tell your kids? What would you like to tell your children? What would you like to tell your children that you stepped on my First Amendment rights? What would you like to tell them? He doesn't know. These guys are getting torn up because you are in a conflict of interest here.
There's no conflict.
Yes, there is. You have a constitution that you're expected to abide by, and you're not doing it. I didn't get any warnings. I didn't get any warnings, sir. And there was someone else too. You know what? You're supposed to give warnings, if that at all. And you want to know who's also violating rules of decorum? Judy Chu. When she's lying, you're not supposed to be dissembling against our president. Mr. Bennett, you still didn't answer my question. What would you like to tell them? These are treasonous people who dishonor their badge, who dishonor their oath. This is what you're seeing in California, everybody. This is what you're seeing right here.
Shame on you! Treason! Treason! How dare you! Fucking hate cops, man. I don't know why our side loves them so much. Cops are such fucking traitors.
They have completely abandoned whatever constitutional right they have.
We spent the last 8 years under Obama, them abusing us.
And they did nothing about it.
Why does everybody on our side side with the cops?
Good question.
The cops are an arm of the government. They are not here for us. The job of the cops is to protect government property. They don't protect us.
They certainly haven't protected me.
No, there is a Supreme Court ruling from the 80s.
Check it out.
Warren versus, I think it's D.C. They do not have to protect us. They're not here to protect us. They're here to spy on us. They're here to enforce the law.
What laws?
Enforce the law.
What laws?
That's what you have to remember.
There's a set of laws for them and a set of laws for the rest of us.
That's why cops drive around looking for lawbreakers all day, because they enforce the law. It is not a defensive police department. It is an offensive police department, which is tyranny, which is martial law. Fuck the cops.
So everybody's telling me I should call the supervisors. That's a great idea.
Shit.
Interesting.
They're not gonna do shit.
You know what? Why don't you mind your own business? Oh, you don't have any to mind.
Walk over there then.
Exactly. We're allowed to speak.
You're walking over here to us.
These are kids who've been brainwashed to hate Trump as much as anybody else. We're allowed to speak. It's called the First Amendment. I guess you haven't heard of it. There you go. So everybody see what's going on in this state. We are not going to allow Democratic frauds to undermine what our president is doing, what he's trying to accomplish for this country. I mean, I have never heard such diligent fraud. It's just, hey, some of you are telling me I should call the supervisor, which means I'm going to have to end the live feed really soon. I am so fed up with these police officers. They want to honor. Thank you. I've got the number from somebody. All right, here I go. Bye-bye. Thanks for following. Please share the heck out of this. This is what's happening.